Now I am the master.
Hey guys, this is Veteran Captain Ken, and if you're watching this is because this video has been released on the day of the Australian Nationals 2018. I've actually recorded this in the past, but it's being released today just to give respect to the players involved that I'm going to mention and not put too much pressure on them. Alright, so for those who don't know, the Australian Nationals format for this year is 4 rounds of Swiss, and then the top 8 go into a 3-round mini Swiss. And of course, the top player from the mini Swiss wins the national championship. So while everyone is pulling out their fleets and registering for the tournament, I'm going to give you my predictions of the top 8 players that will come out of today, who will go into the next day's round of mini Swiss. So in no particular order, let's begin. So first up, we have Intel Officer Luke. So for those who follow the channel, you would know that it's been a while since he's actually lost a game. You can pretty much give the man any type of fleet to fly and he'll find a way to win. He's flown MSUs, he's flown fish farms, he's flown no squadron fleets, he's flown bomber fleets, anything out there, you name it, he's flown it and he wins with it. And to top it off, Luke is also a regional champion, so that means he has the first round bye, which he will probably use to get that advantage in the first day of Swiss. Next up, we have Fulcrum Nick. So Nick is probably one of the most skilled players in Armada in all of Australia. He was actually last year's a runner-up. He's become known in our meta as the guy you don't want to verse, because chances are your ambitions of getting a high tournament score is now dashed away. Nick is also a regional champion, which means he has a first round bye, which I think he'll definitely use because it puts him at a massive advantage of making the top 8 for today. My next prediction is veteran gunner Scott Bellamy, who's the current Australian Armada national champion. Look, anyone that beats Nick and becomes a national champion because of that deserves to be considered to be in the top 8. In my experience with Scott, he showed me a thing or two about Akbar battle pickles, and he's been shown to be capable of flying squadron balls as well on the channel. Next up, we have Ben Doyle. So Ben Doyle is actually known for his X-Wing career. He's the 2016 Australian National Champion for X-Wing, but I think his X-Wing skill carries over to Armada as well. Ben has at least one store championship under his belt, and he came in the top 8 for last year's National Championship as well. From what I've seen, he's a very capable player, flying anything between a 7 activation BT Evangelist to a 3 activation Sloan Aces ball. Alright, next up we have Tactical Expert Steve Gibb. Steve is a very capable player. He can play nearly any fleet archetype, and he follows and analyzes the meta locally and overseas. Steve's achievements include coming 3rd in the Australian Nationals last year, and he only missed the top 2 finals cut by 1 point. He's also a store champion and a regionals champion, which undoubtedly will put him on a huge advantage on making the top 8 cut for this year, assuming that he uses his first round bye. For my next choice, it's Moff Dan. So Dan is a very talented player. He's known to have given Luke and Nick surprise losses at tournaments. Dan has multiple regional wins and store championship wins, and if he didn't win, you'd see him in the top 4. He's known for flying a very particular fleet archetype with Thrawn, which I think will do very well in this meta for this year. For my 7th pick, we have General David Grounds. He's also known as LTD on the FFG forums, and he's a very active member of the Vassal Armada community. Look, it's no secret that he's been flying the same Corvette swarm since Wave 4, and he's gotten so used to it that he flies it like a well-oiled machine. He's taken said fleet and has finished in the top 4 in almost nearly every event since 2016, and he's also taken the same fleet overseas and won a regionals championship over there. So I expect him to do very well if he uses his first round bye. My last pick is Wing Commander Felix. Now Felix only started playing Armada this year right after the regional season. He's definitely one of the most committed players I've ever met, and he's played a game nearly weekly since he started playing, and he's been on the channel at least 3 times. That's 7 waves to catch up on less than 3/4 of a year. It doesn't show on the channel, but off camera his dedication does bear fruit, and he's won a store championship because of it. If there is a Rookie of the Year award at this event, I think he definitely would win it. So that's it for my top 8 predictions, which is based purely only on the people that I know who are going to the event. I'm also going to make some special mentions because these people I don't think will make the top 8, but I think you'll definitely need to overcome them as an obstacle in order to finish top 8 for today. So first off, we have Sean Vance. Yes, it's no secret that Sean has a disability, but we here at MOTF have nothing but the utmost respect for Sean, and most of the players I've already mentioned in the top 8 already know who he is and they won't take him lightly. He's been flying the same double ISD list for years now, and it's going to suit the current meta very nicely. My next special mention is Mariano Banchero. He's one of the co-hosts over at Fly Casual, the YouTube channel, who also does Armada Bat Reps. Mars is probably one of the most dedicated interdictor players I've ever met, and I think once again, if he does fly that fleet, he'll do very well in this meta, or at least give people a very hard time to getting a top 8 position. My last special mention is Greg Capel. Greg is actually known better for his Star Wars Destiny career, but he did win a store championships recently, defeating 3 of the top Sydney players that include Nick Ward and Steve Gibb, with a very innovative yet unconventional Radis fleet. He's a very skilled player, but the only thing I think that's holding him back from making a top 8 ranking is the fact that he's more dedicated with other games like Destiny. That's all I got for you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below if I'm close in my predictions and who you want to win the event. If you happen to be watching this between the hours of 1000 and 1200 November 16, Eastern Standard Time of course, drop into the Discord and say hi to Luke and Nick. They're probably waiting there, chatting around, watching their games during their first round bye, while I'm going to be messing up my first round. Anywho, this is Veteran Captain Ken, signing out.